Good evening and welcome back to Sports Talk ATL. I am Chase Earl, joined by Jake, Gordon, and Alex. Lord, just before we hopped on this video, Max Fried goes down. 15-day IL with a blister, which I don't know how you get so many blisters. Like what in the world happened to this man that he just gets blisters all over his hands at all times? Because throughout his entire career, and now I'm talking about like when he was a prospect in the minors, like we're talking about like a 10-year period here. This guy has just had blister issues. So when it first came up, he got his start pushed back. I was a little worried. I'm not going to lie. I was like, that's something we need to pay attention to. He goes out and tosses a gem last night, 6 inning, 1-run ball, 7 strikeouts. Looks like the best pitcher on the planet. I am convinced, outside of maybe Garrett Cole, right now, Max Fried is the best pitcher on planet Earth. Like, he is just a machine. Like, the last 4 years, he's the most consistent pitcher. That's aside from the back. He goes on the 15-day IL after the fact. They said, the blister thing kind of popped up again. Are we worried about this, or do we just know this was his last start? They know 15 days. He can be back by game 1 of the NLDS. Is it just a rest thing? Are we worried about it? How are we feeling?
I'm worried, but I'm a worrier. I mean, also, this time last year, the guy lost 15 pounds and had to go pitch in the NLDS. It just didn't look right. So, yeah, forgive me if I'm naturally just a little bit jittery about the whole situation. But like I said, that's just kind of how I am naturally as a person. So, you can take that with a grain of salt. But, of course, that set off some red flags. Like, that set off some bells in my head.
I think you'd be lying if you said you weren't worried. I mean, we can all read, the Braves and their beat writers and everybody saying this is precautionary. It's the same amount of time as he would have game 1 NLDS. But the fact of the matter is he's been dealing with blisters, like Chase said, his entire career. Are we sure this isn't going to linger into the playoffs? Like, I also just want to far left question. Even when I played baseball, I didn't pitch, so I have no idea what the kid's going through or what any pitcher's going through. When you pitch for that long, don't you build up like some sort of callus? And I may sound like an idiot asking this, but I really just want to, do you not build up some sort of callus on your hands? Like when you weightlift, you have calluses. When you golf, you get calluses. Like, how do you not develop some sort of like callus, tough?
He's got soft hands, brother.
He's from California, dude.
He's got soft hands. He's a part-timer.
He's from California. That's why we're not re-signing him. We're getting him out of here. Soft boy. Nah, listen, I think this is very, very precautionary. I'm not worried, but then again, like, I'm not a warrior. And last year I wasn't worried about Max Fried being sick like 10 days before the NLDS, and the guys came out looking like a skeleton and couldn't pitch. So I could be wrong here. I definitely think it's precautionary. Even like from the Braves post and like Bally's post, like you would think like they wouldn't encourage those kind of posts if they were just like next up NLDS. Like if the guy was like actually like dealing with something that like he couldn't return from. The simple fact is, and it's the same way with him when he was sick, is like he is going to pitch game 1 of the NLDS, like whether it's right or not. But I will say he pitched fantastic last night. And I mean, he just, every time he toes the rubber, I am amazed. I am so amazed by who Max Fried has become over these last 4 years. Like the consistency that he brings to the mound is just, it's uncomparable to anyone else in the league. I mean, even Garrett Cole, guys like that, they've had spikes in ERA. They've had bad years. Max Fried goes out there every time. Like the last 4 years, his highest ERA is 3.04. Like he's unbelievable. So listen, this is one of those things as Braves fans where I think Mike Bell tweeted it. It's like, oh, dude, we should have gotten some more pitching. Buddy, if Max Fried is hurt, it's just like, we're screwed. Like it just wasn't in the cards. Like it just
who's on the street that's going to replace Max Fried? Mike Bell. That's crazy. That's crazy to say.
But then again, you think about it, we've done this whole season basically without Max Fried. So we're not totally screwed, but it's the same thing like when we lost Ronald Acuna for the World Series run in 2021. Like you're like, oh, well, we're screwed. We ended up winning the World Series, but like if one of those guys goes down, like, yeah, like it sucks. There's no replacing that guy. There was nothing we were going to do.
Yeah, I do want to talk about that for a second. And the Ronald Acuna Jr. thing is funny. It's like, yeah, in hindsight, we could have gotten more pitching. Who was going to, foresee Max Fried's blister 2 weeks before the playoff? Nobody. What was trading for Michael Lorenzen going to do for us right now? Let me pose that question. What was
I mean, he would have looked great and on the sidelines because he wouldn't have made the postseason roster, just like he's not going to make the postseason roster for the Phillies. So, I mean, there was nothing out there. We've talked about it a million times about the trade deadline. There literally is nothing out there that we could have gotten. Jack Flaherty sucks. Michael Lorenzen sucks. Lucas Giolito sucks. Like everyone that got traded, unless you wanted to go out there and get Verlander. But guess what, guys? The Mets were not trading Verlander to us. It just wasn't.
Even like Lance Lynn has fallen off a cliff too. He was really good to start. He has like a 5-run ERA for the Dodgers now.
Yeah, and he's fat. I don't want that guy on my team.
I like fat guys. I wish more fat guys were on our team.
No, we're a skinny
Vogelback.
team. No, we're a skinny team. Except for team. I mean, thick team, but like a fit team. Fit team. You can't have fat guys on your team and win a World Series. Name the last fat guy to win a World Series.
Panda got a ring, didn't he?
Did he? I
don't think so.
Was that 21?
I think that was like 2019 or 20. That might have been 20. No, it had to be 21.
I think it was. Panda got a ring.
Thick boy. Thick boy. This conversation has gone off the rails.
Off the rails.
Yeah, I mean,
we got two Warriors and one that's not worried, but Chase is never worried about anything ever, it seems like. I think you're crazy to say you're either crazy or a liar, and Chase might be crazy to say you're not worried about this Max Fried thing, because who knows if he's going to come out the other side without a blister. Like, he's been dealing with his whole career.
That's like not nervous for the playoffs. Like I'm thinking about the playoffs, and like I'm just
maybe because it's not here yet.
I don't have.
All I can think about is college football on Saturday.
I don't have the same nerves that I had like usually. Like, oh, we're going in there. It's like there's just something about this team that I'm like, we got it, and if we don't, like, I don't know how to explain it. It feels different.
Yeah, I bought me and my girlfriend NLDS Game 1 tickets. It's on Saturday the 7th. Last year, I bought Game 1 tickets, and it was in the middle of the day on a weekday, and I couldn't get anyone to go with me. And this year, bought the tickets. Girlfriend texted me, "Hey, we got a wedding, buddy. I don't know what you plan on doing."
Did she buddy you?
Oh, yeah.
You got buddied by your own lady?
So I got a wedding on the weekend of weekends of college football, and then NLDS Game 1. So it's wedding season.
You have friends. I don't. I've been invited to like one wedding in my life. So that's like the good part of not having friends. Like no one invites you to your weddings. Coming up after the break, what are we going to do? Let's break down some college football. Let's get into some college football talk.